What up? It's Matt, Taco Potato Mustang. I'm sitting here in my 2023 Hyundai Elantra N. If you follow the channel, you know that generally I'm pretty happy with this car. Bought it almost 2 years ago, and I drive it almost every day. And overall, it's pretty great. I just want to talk about one of the things that I think is really stupid about this car. And I honestly wish I had never learned about it. So there's this thing, actually first. So this car stock has 276 horsepower and 289 pound-feet of torque, which if you're like a Mustang guy who, especially you younger Mustang guys who have only driven like Coyote Mustangs, that probably does not sound like a lot of horsepower and a lot of torque. But I will remind you that just like 20 years ago, that was like not far off from what Mustang GTs were making, and then what the previous generation like Cobras and Camaro SS and Trans Am WS6, like, you know, those were all cars that were like in the low 300 horsepower range. And these cars are a little bit lighter. So the numbers are pretty good. It's not the fastest, it's not the quickest, fastest car in the world, but it's fun to drive. And this car is more about the overall like handling, driving experience versus like just having like mind-blowing acceleration. That being said, it's pretty quick, and one of the reasons why I initially picked this over a Subaru WRX is that I felt like it was a little bit more exciting to drive, and it felt like it was a little bit quicker. And then a couple years, like last year, I rented a Subaru WRX, a newer one, on Turo, and I made a video review of that car, and I think I commented in the video that it actually felt like it was quicker than my Elantra. And I ended up like asking the owner, like, do you have anything done to this? Like, it feels quicker than I expected, and it feels quicker than my car. And he said no. And then I put something on Reddit about it, and a bunch of people were like, well, you know, it's something to do with like the way the power comes on in the WRX or blah, 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 whatever. I don't remember exactly what people said. But another thing that came up in that thread, and that I've seen in a million other threads on the Elantra N subreddit, is this thing called Octane learning. And when I first like briefly glanced at something about it before I had driven the WRX and made this thread, I just was like, oh, okay, like I didn't know what I thought it was, but I didn't really like read much into it. I was just like, maybe that's just for people who don't put like premium fuel in the car or something, blah, blah, blah. Okay, let's take a look at this. This is on chapter 6, page 61 of the owner's manual. Maximum performance driving, how to drive with Octane number learning. I'm just gonna leave this here for a second so you can read it on your own. So, okay, allegedly this car makes the stock numbers like without this Octane number learning thing having been achieved. So it says the maximum boost pressure is limited to protect the engine until the fuel is identified as premium fuel. I think in most cars that are turbocharged, the engine will do what it's supposed to do. Like, if it does need to learn the octane of the fuel, it does it pretty quickly, and you don't have to do anything to make it happen. In the Elantra N, you have to create driving conditions based on this little chart that they give you in order to achieve octane learning. Now, if you go on Reddit, the general wisdom and guidance, which is snarkily, sarcastically, facetiously, whatever applied, is that you should just pretend like you never learned about it and just assume that if you ever achieve it, it's just like an added bonus. And it's better just to pretend like it doesn't exist. But then there's also people who say things like, oh, I have this surefire trick, this way to like achieve Octane learning every single time. Here's a trick that works. But then like every other thread is somebody who's like, I've gotten my car to Octane learn like 0 times or 1 time. And that's me. Like I think I've seen it. And the way you can tell if the car is Octane learned is if you have on your menu on the dash. So this is just in normal mode, but you can still change it so that it shows you what the PSI is for the turbo, and then what the torque is. And I mean, this will come up also in sport mode, and I think you can have it come up on the infotainment in N mode. I have to play around with it a little bit. I think I've seen the turbo PSI go above 16 PSI like maybe 1 or 2 times. And I've done I've driven in the driving conditions when high and constant speed driving is possible, like on a highway. For a manual, you're supposed to be in 6th gear. You can use cruise control, and you're supposed to be going between 68 and 99 miles an hour for 5 minutes or more. I've done this endless times and had no change in like, and then when I try to like, really get on it, the PSI doesn't go above 15 for the turbo. So basically since the last few times that I tried, like, I don't even know, a couple months ago, I just try to pretend like it doesn't exist, because it's really annoying that you'd have to like do something else that doesn't work most of the time to achieve like the maximum horsepower of this vehicle. Some people say like you're focusing on the wrong thing. Like again, you should think of it as like a bonus rather than like power that you're not getting, which I kind of get, like, but at the same time, it should just be like automatic. Like once you put premium fuel in the car should recognize it, and then it should do the maximum performance that it's supposed to do. So Hyundai, I don't like, come on, just, there's got to be like a tune or an update that can be sent to the car to just make it not this way.